So the first speaker we'll have up is Alakula, who is from Estonia, and particularly the city of Tallinn, which is a move towards free public transit. Allan was president of the Estonian Journalists Union for years, and now sits as EU representative in Brussels. Allan.
Thank you, Greg. First of all, let me thank, of course, the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation for opportunity to be here and speak in this brilliant event. Size of Tallinn, it's a bit old figure. It became, as a 1st of September, 433,000 people. So it's about the size of the city. It's what? 10 times less, almost 10 times less than Toronto, but it's a capital of Estonia. City budget is roughly €500 million. Size of fleet, almost 500 vehicles, including trams, streetcars, trolleybuses, electric buses, and the bus fleet. Bus fleet is a major. Most of the fleet is from buses. Public transport budget, 53 million. Before the shift to free public transport, it became bigger. Now it's 59 million. Ticket revenue, and now it comes to, let's say, the basic features. Ticket revenue, which was collected before the shift to public transport, free public transport, has been 17 million euros per year. And out of those 17 million, 5 million was collected from the non-residents of Tallinn. The price level of the free public transport for Tallinn residents thus is 12 million euros. It costs for the city 12 million. Free public transport for residents of the Tallinn in the territory of the Tallinn, in the city limits. It's 12 million is a cost. So that's a general background. Considering the results, we have to take into account the still ongoing and still growing number of private car ownership. The private car ownership increases roughly by 10% a year. So it's a vast increased big mass of cars coming to streets every year. The thing what we have to face, and the same increased temps are applying to the county surrounding Tallinn city. So it's not only Tallinn, but it's our surrounding county as well. Major objectives, why we did it in Tallinn. Foremost and most important was social. We are making the public services satisfaction surveys annual surveys, and first time in 2011 it became evident from the survey that the major obstacle for people for using public transport became the price. Price has been always on the high positions, but never before on the first position. As a result, during the end of the crisis, purchasing power was contracted to the extent that public transport started to lose usage due to the ticket cost. People were not able to afford it. So it's a major thing was a social consideration to provide mobility option to use public transport to all people regardless of their incomes. It was a most important. Many other social aspects are relating to it. It was increasing, strengthening the social cohesion, providing mobility to elderly, better mobility to the all groups of society, but the working age and let's say, yes, opportunity for the working age population to use public transport for moving around in the city was a major argument. The second one was economic consideration. It was presumed, and it was pretty much a hypothetical before the shift, before the implementation. It was presumed that free public transport can enhance local economy. It was presumed that people having free opportunity for a free ride can or will have use more local services and goods. People go out more on the evenings, people go out more on the weekends, feeling they save something, and they indeed do little savings, but they go out and spend more, and thus really stimulating local, first of all, local goods, local services consumption. And it became true. It became a fair argument, but again, it was pretty much hypothetical before, because it has been not exercised, has been tried. Environmental aspect, of course, was important to us too. However, it may seem not so strong case in the city of size of Tallinn, 500,000, less than 500,000. But we have traffic overcrowding too. Our cars also don't fit to the city center. So to contain the car number that contains the traffic in city center was important too. It's not a big issue in Tallinn, the air or even the noise or this kind of pollutions, but just as to get more space in the city center, it's an issue to us as well. So let's call it green aspects. And fourth argumentation was a purely fiscal. It was presumed, and today we can say it was right, to presume that the city can in total make it even for city budget, and can even little earn from it. But I will tell how it was possible. Prehistory to the decision is not long. In 2012, in the beginning of 2012, it was first raised in public, the idea by the mayor, still the same mayor sitting, was proposed to consider free public transport. It wasn't before raised on the election campaigns, it wasn't on the governing party agenda, it wasn't even not in the opposition agenda in Tallinn. It has been in the second biggest city in Estonia, has been proposed but not implemented, partly to try. So in Tallinn it's just started from the mayor's proposal, top political initiative, and it was proposed to have a referendum on the issue. Referendum idea itself was attacked initially, saying something like that why we need a referendum, why we need another spending for this plebiscite if you can learn the people's opinion with service with much cheaper way. The real reason why the referendum was proposed and why it was important, it's not about to knowing what people think about the free public transport. The referendum was meant to be, and it became the strong tool to inform and involve public. Without referendum campaign, it wasn't be possible to really inform in a similar extent and to involve people to decision making. Involving massively people to the decision making provided the strongest possible mandate for decision. Decision was effectively locked. The change of city government, change of city council, coalitions can't overrule it easily after it has been approved by a local referendum. That was why the referendum was important. No, for no big surprises, 75% voted for, 25% against establishing free public transport on the Tallinn territory for Tallinn residents. What was the question exactly? Participation was the highest among the Tallinn referendums which we had before, but it was 20% of those eligible. But for local referendums, it's our best result so far. It's a 6th referendum in Tallinn. 20% is the top participation rate. So after referendum, and it's also important, the result or what the referendum provided, the decision has been interpreted by the administration, of course, much wider than just implementing the free public transport. It was interpreted as a mandate for prioritization of the public transport in general. Almost immediately after referendum, it was decided severely to expand the dedicated bus lanes network, the exclusive bus lanes network. We had before something like 10 kilometers in total before, but the lines were not trespassing the city center, they were not effective. Now it almost doubled the length of the exclusive bus lanes, and the quality became absolutely not comparable. We received really trespassing bus lanes across the city center. Without this strong mandate from the referendum, it wouldn't be possible. We implemented also the contactless card, which we had quite advanced electronic ticket before, directly based on the national ID card, but to make accountancy on the Tallinn residents' usage of every trip, we had to implement the new card system, which was necessary technical tool. And our two public transport companies, both belonging to the city, were merged to save from administration and then to make it more effective with the coordination networks and the service. How was it planned to fund? It was planned to fund from the increase of the registered population of Tallinn. Providing such an incentive for Tallinn residents, we presumed, basing on the previous experience, we presumed that it will enhance the registration of the actual residents of Tallinn, signing up as the taxpayers of Tallinn. It's not local, it's national, but personal income tax is a major source of the city budget, and thus stimulating the registration of the actual residents. The city presumed we can cover the bill, was 12 million. And as a result, to the September of this year, the number which we achieved or received additionally to the city taxpayers list, city residents list, it is more than 17,000 people. Our rough estimate says that every 1,000 people bring us 1 million a year annual income. To city budget, 1 million euros a year. So it's the bill of 12 million is covered with fine surplus. As a result, we count the increase of population, which we relate directly to thanks to the free public transport. We counted from the referendum. After the referendum, it became clear that there is a good reason to sign up as a Tallinn resident. So since 2012 April, the months after the referendum, the increase has been followed 17,000. Makes something like how many? 3-4% of the total population of Tallinn. It's remarkable, it's meaningful, but it's even more meaningful, of course, in regard of taxes. So, initial results in city transport, in buses, trams and trolleybuses, the increase of usage was observed nearly 10%, which is not impressive, not too impressive at all. But we have to consider that all the population, all the people above 65 plus had free ride already, and all students had meaningful discounts. So basically all the students were covered already with a very cheap ride, and 65 plus people had free already. So those are groups who, in other cases, what we know, are usually the biggest increasers of the usage of public transport. If it becomes free, in our case they had free already. But still, we admit the increase of 10%. It was something what we expected. We were already up to the 15% increase. We really achieved 10% plus. The scheme was implemented effectively, and the indication of it was also the expansion of the scheme to the commuter trains. In October 2013, it means 8 months and 10 months after the start in the city owned public transport, it was expanded to the railway company, which is operated by the national administration or supervised by a national administration. And in the commuter trains, the increase of the usage occurred to be 6 to 7 times. So it's already strong increase. It partly explains that the retired people and the students did not have such an incentives before. This is definitely one source, but I admit we still can't and we do not have a too good explanation how in the trains it became so big increase, and then the municipal transport not as big. It's not an issue of quality, and actually the increase in the trains provides us the cleanest and the clearest argument against a very common claim that in public transport the quality of the service matters the most. In Tallinn we have a clear case when the brand new trains were brought to operation in the midsummer of the last year, 2013. No any change in usage occurred. Okay, it was summer, it was thought, okay, let's autumn, let's school year starts, we'll see what happens. Nothing happened. No change occurred, regardless of the brand new full fleet of new trains, with even increased frequency. It didn't brought any increase of the usage, until the city struck a deal with the national company providing Tallinn residents free ride in the trains in the city limits, and the result was that the trains became full of people. I would not say too overcrowded, but in the peak hours they are full, standing people. So it's an argumentation against the claim that the quality or the most is a quality is a master. It's not always. It's not in our case. So Tallinn is happy to do also the international networking of the free public transport promotion, and in Europe we have a quite regular relations with Polish cities. Poland is actually the country which I regret very much. We don't have Polish speaker today, but Poland is a country which is really taking up the Tallinn experience and Tallinn showcase, and in Poland free public transport is booming this year. There has been 3 cities smaller than Tallinn admitting but let's say from 20 to 85,000 residents have shifted to the free public transport, and it's one of the major issues in the local election campaign in Poland, which is ongoing now in Poland. In November is our elections. So in Poland it became a big issue, and pretty much also referring to the Tallinn's case, which we are pleased, of course, of. And yes, Tallinn so far remains the biggest city in the world, known to ourselves at least, implementing the free public transport in this scale. However, there are still many cities around the world who are far bigger than Tallinn and exercising partly free public transport, like Chengdu in China, exercising free public transport in one sector of the between second and third ring road. But the amount of the size of the fleet providing free ride is comparable to the size of the whole Tallinn. But it is exercised in the real metropolises. Chengdu, which is something like 17 million, it is exercised in big cities as well. And then Chinese, actually, who are attending the conference in Poland, are very pleased and are well researched in the issue. And so it can be discussed and exercised also in the far bigger cities. And I would be happy to answer questions afterwards.